Hi, Terry, if you're still here. No problem, Rakamas. Thank you for stopping by. It's live. Shake some gold. I got some pay dirt for Friday. I'm going to be painting some pay dirt with B&B pay dirt on my channel at 4 o'clock. His 500 sub giveaway. I'll be painting some pay dirt with him, and we'll be picking some winners to win some silver and some gold pay dirts and stuff. Well, welcome in, everybody. How is everybody tonight? I hope everybody is doing well. My arm itches. You're smurfed up there, Terry. Sorry it took so long to do that, but my YouTube channel's up as well, so I can bounce over to it and do stuff. I can't wait to get more gold in one of these. Getting old, you guys. Moving around ain't as easy as it used to be. Trust me. Don't get old. Like you have a choice, but you know what I'm saying. I know. I know. It was crazy. So gold's kind of stabilized and done pretty good too. Hard to believe that just one of these half grammars right here is like $80 right now. Or more. The silver's been all over the place. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Kind of nuts how all over the place it has been, actually. Not much, STG. What's going on with you? How you doing, John? Terry, how you doing? Rockamos, if you're still here, hello. Just reveling in the stack. Actually, I'm just showing off, just got pours out today, really. But still, this 2.5 ounces silver, so this alone by itself is $170, $175 in melt. How crazy is that? Just chilling. Well, thanks for popping in. Got my Metal Mob sticker posted to the old board here. Just leave it like that. You know what? If I back this up just a touch, I can get more on the shot. Here we go. Metal Mob, baby. Yeah, that's cool. How big? Nice. All silver, or are you mixing it up? You're probably getting some gold too, right? I mean, you buy your stuff down in like Diamond District, don't you? Or from a jeweler? All gold. There it is. Stack that gold. So what's that? Ounce and a quarter? If you do one later in the day would be better because I can definitely make it, but I'm not telling you how to time your stuff. I'll try to make it no matter what. But I stream later because I work such late hours. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, I mean, just the math plays out. But yeah, that's cool. Nice score. You probably got a little more than I'm sure. Or it's pre 33 shit. They cost more. Checked all the bullion websites today. Nobody's got copper still. They might have it up now, but that was earlier today. Isn't that crazy? Nobody's got copper. They weren't expecting the big bull run on copper. I was running a mint. I'd have been loading up on this shit. Just knowing that people are going to rush in. That's all right. You actually might make more, get more for your money at the coin show. Just saying. But that's a big purchase. I'd pick it up too. But no, man, that's awesome. I hope you do a stream. You want to see what you got. See what you get. Is it 1 ounce or is it all fractionals? Hmm. Thinking about it, it's probably going to be all fractional, but just asking. How you doing, David? 1 ounce? You going with the big one, huh? Nice. Good for you, bro. Got the big 1 pound copper bar from Liberty Bleeds he sent me. Just let that thing chill. It's been on display. Just kind of sitting up here since I got it, knocking the gold over. Knocking all the gold over. The only thing that hasn't fallen is Rhonda, and she's on her edge. I can just tell. You're a real bitch like that sometimes. Oh, there we go. Much better. Scrap metal, what's going on? Welcome in. I saw your eyes. I didn't say hi. David came in and said, "Hey, David, what's going on, you guys? I can't wait to get my next big purchase. I was actually just looking at the bank account. I really need to get back on schedule. I'm not really behind. I just need to pick up 1 ounce to 2 ounces. That'll put me right in the spot where I need to be at 1 ounce, at 125 ounces by the end of the year. But silver's being crazy right now. A lot of people are deciding on whether or not they're gonna, or are undecided on whether or not they're gonna hold or whether they're gonna sell. Manderson, what's going on, brother? It's all right. Come in when you can. I understand how busy people can get. Trust me, because um, I've been the acting manager at work, and it's been pretty crazy. So I've been pretty busy, haven't had a chance to do anything outside of just going to work and coming home. Everything's closed by the time I get off work. Hey man, I predicted 95 by the end of the week, and it keeps bouncing. It was at like $93 today. So I'm telling you, it's going to tip 95 by the end of the week. Yeah, just let me pop over and put the. Unless you can get it from here. Hold on. See if that works, Justin. It was already at 90. It'll be 250 by. It said will happen in 2027. There's a possibility, but our whole economic system will.
Can you hear me?
What's up, Justin?
It's getting late. Got to get up for work in the morning again. So,
Right. Hold on a second. There we go. Sorry about that.
that's fine. So, but yeah, I remember back when you did the open mic and we were having the talk of like, why do we stack? And you allowed me to enter the metal mob. And it's kind of a weird discussion of like, well, this is why we stack. And I mean, you've had that conversation before. And well, you stack to, to create wealth for your family and everything like that. And I kind of was like, well, there's a lot of things going on in this world. And I went down in chat, and it was a while ago. I think it was back when silver was under $40. And I think I was off because I went back into chat afterwards. And of course, for me, it's late night. It's already like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when I was chatting. And I hit $120 prediction for June of 2026. I think I might have been wrong.
Yeah, you're probably low.
Yeah. What? But at the same time, there was a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about of why we stack and like kind of what's going on in the world. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about that because they'd rather, some people will call it turn the other cheek or look the other way or not see what's going on.
Oh, you
And
guys. I mean, right now there is people talking about a complete. I mean, because they're already talking about it. It's going to be a complete global monetization reset and change. They're talking about blockchain currency and digital currencies.
oh,
So
that's horrible. And the
yeah,
reason I say that, and I'm speaking for knowledge on this. So right now, we have some friends that follow through the Gold family and the Stacker community, where I won't say what country or where they are. They're actually getting arrested for posts they made 5 years ago on Facebook and going to jail. And it's like, wait, just because they spoke up 5 years ago and said I dislike this version of the government and they're going to jail, like, and that's in the western part of what we would call civilization. Not going to say it ends with a K and starts with a U, but that's happening. And people are so look the other way, turn the other cheek. No, I don't want to believe it. But then you also have propaganda. Like, oh, you know, this one's right or that one's right or this one's wrong. And they're only picking one piece of the little puzzle out. And they're taking that little itty bitty piece and they're extorting that one piece to fulfill what their opinion is. Where your opinion don't really mean nothing except to yourself. You have to look at the
are you there?
want to see. Yeah, I'm still there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of
So
went out for a minute there.
yeah, I unplugged my phone for a second. But you got the I hate to say it like this, and we'll just call it uh the USD versus a gold backed system and the destruction of fiat currency. Yes, we need to get all back to that, but a portion of why silver jumped so much, there's a bunch of people that own futures and said, hey, I want to collect. And then the West had to jump in and basically bail out with a bunch of future debt to keep it from happening to say, oh, wait, We're not sitting on this and oh wait, we were banking on shorts. Oh wait, we're corrupt. We're about to like fold. You got to stop that from happening because it'll destroy everything. And that's technically both sides playing it. And I don't want to get too political and stuff like I said because I know it's more about stacking this, that, and the other. But it kind of fits. Do you agree? Yes, no.
Well, there's a lot of global issues going on right now that are adding to the price of silver doing what it's doing. There's no question about that. With China not sending silver out, with us pissing off the North and the South, with Mexico and the wall, Canada with taking over their 50 their Canada as the 51st state, and now making Greenland mad at us because we were going to go over and take them over because they have precious metals over there. So there are a lot of reasons why metals are doing what they're doing. We are in a complete
Well,
precious
yeah,
metal war
but that also
globally right
goes back. Like I said, that goes back to the always infamous from the dawn of time: East versus West, left versus right, red versus blue, purple versus yellow. But you know who
now. No,
always wins? You know who always wins in those situations? The rich.
well, well, of
The rich.
course, but do keep in mind that the rich will run out of resources.
Well, they've gotten to the point now, and I think the push now is: have you seen
Or
how
they won't.
advanced? Have you seen how advanced automation has gotten? Like,
Yes, of course.
and like me being in the medical field, aka doc for a reason, I left it because I've seen just push a pill, push this, push that, versus, hey, you've got high blood pressure because you smoke, you drink, you're overweight, and you eat freaking Dunkin' Donuts all day, every day. How about you take a look in the mirror, do a couple push ups, do a couple sit ups, start eating a little bit healthier, and you won't need this medication for the rest of your life. But yet, they'd rather just throw a medication at you versus telling you, hey, let's be adults, let's look in the mirror, let's figure out how to fix yourself properly. And the reason they don't do that is, like, again, it's control of currency, it's control of resources, it's control of money.
Well, so you're
But
saying that control over currency and money has to do with, I mean, because everybody controls currency and money. It's
well,
all,
the
so
banks,
listen, this is
go ahead.
all about a global monetary reset.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah,
And
and
like,
that's what I said. So you're agreeing with me then. That's what you're doing. You came up to agree with what I was saying.
oh yeah, 100%. And I'm telling you from
But they're
just
going.
my side of it, like, but the thing is, you have to realize we're stacking we're stacking tenths of a cent to have a little bit of resource where they are purposely buying up land and controlling money by paying off farmers with inside of the US and all over the world to let that land sit there and not create food so they can control the price of this or the price of that. For so long, they manipulated real tradable goods. Like, we need to get back to tradable goods, or what your worth was. Like, if I show up to your house and say, hey, man, I need you to redo all the electrical in my house, would you kind of know electrical and to redo your whole house? If I got to fight through politics and pulling this, that, and the other, you know, I got to pull a permit for this and I need this inspector to come look at this versus, hey, I actually know what I'm doing. I ain't got to pull all the stuff, and I pay one person to come look at it. Like, oh yeah, that's all good. That's $200 versus $10,000 depending on where you live. Yes, there needs to be people there for a little bit of oversight because I currently live in places where I pulled one of my plugs out of the wall and it went from one
Well,
plug to the other with an extension cord. Like
Justin,
that's where
code is code
go
for a
ahead.
reason because people don't want to burn and die while they're sleeping and
Exactly.
their heater turns on. So, um,
Exactly.
I
And I
know,
agree with that.
but barter system's not always the best way to go in certain cases. Now, if it gets to a system to where we have to do that, do keep in mind that's a shit. That's more of a shit hits the fan situation, and nobody wants that. Not even you, no matter how
No, I
prepared
don't.
you are. So,
Yeah,
so that's
I
not
don't
the
either, but
situation we want. That's not necessarily what we want. If you can reach out and talk to someone that can help you do your stuff and do it the right way, that's one thing. But you don't want fucking Johnny
some
Two
crook.
Fingers out back with a screwdriver coming to fix your electrical.
Exactly. But that also goes back to the fiat versus an actual back system. I should be able to go to the bank and take this piece of paper and say, "Hey, this is a piece of paper. It says $100 on it. I should be able to get 2 ounces of silver." And just say it like that. But it should stay like that, and that's how the entire system should be built off of. Like copper
So
costs
listen,
so much to pull it out of the ground.
you haven't
Your
been able
regular
to go and get silver at a bank with a silver certificate since I believe 72.
since yeah,
Okay,
and that was the
and
destruction
that's when
of
Nixon took us
reality.
off the gold standard. And to be honest with you, banks didn't have silver at that place in their house at that time, anyways. It
Yeah,
wasn't like you
it
could
was
just
all
walk in the
paper.
door and ask for silver. Okay,
Well, see, that's where
you would
a
end up
lot of
getting.
people understand the fiat, like the fiat currency, like what they don't understand. Like if I were to take $100 and go put it in a bank, that bank will take my $100 and loan you $90 of it and charge you interest on that $90. But
Yeah,
because now
no
they got a
shit.
paper
That's how they,
contract,
Justin. That's how they make money.
yeah, I
Banks
know,
don't just. Banks aren't there to just like. I worked at a bank, so like
it's an
I know
it's a
how
form of
this works.
enslavement.
And
It's
I
a
what?
modern day it's a modern day form of enslavement.
Justin. Let's not go down a rabbit hole we don't need to.
Okay, back to what you want to chat about. I just, like I said, I want to come up here, but I know there's a few people in here. Maybe it opened their mind on certain things. Like I said, I don't want to get too political. I don't want to go one way or another. But at some
Hi
point,
Al, how are
people
you?
need to. Some people need to have these conversations with other people that
No, I
have
understand,
enough
but listen,
common sense.
you're talking like so. Listen, you started bringing up the way a bank actually makes money, and you're acting like it's a conspiracy for them to make money, and that is not a conspiracy. That's a business plan.
Okay, but here's the thing: why should somebody be able to get rich off of my money if they're loaning out my money? And right
That
back
so,
to the beginning.
Justin, why should they hold your money for free?
Well, because it's a bank, it's supposed to hold my money.
So your
It's supposed to be
incentive,
a place.
your
It's
so
supposed to be a
Justin, your
place I should be able to
incentive.
put.
So listen, I don't want to argue the banking system with you, but let me clarify something for you. The banking system, you put your money in the bank for free. They pay you interest for putting money in that bank. Then that
Uh,
allows
yeah,
them,
like what a tenth of a
Justin,
point. A
Justin.
tenth of a point. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter what the interest rate you agree to it when you deposit it. It could be
That's true.
nothing, and you it could be nothing, and you agree to it when you deposit it. Okay, so let's be clear.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
you deposit your money into a bank. You keep it there. The bank is allowed to loan your money out. Now, when you come and demand it, it's there for you. Okay, They
Okay.
don't say you can't
Only
have it because they loaned it
250K.
to Johnny. They don't say. Well, they also have plenty of disclosures telling you what you're up to, what you're allowed up to for deposits, and what they're willing to cover for their insurance. It's
Okay.
not rocket science here. Okay, and
I've personally had
not a
over. I have
conspiracy.
personally.
It's not a conspiracy for you. Go ahead, Justin.
I have personally
Or yeah, go
at
ahead.
times had well over $50,000 in the bank, and I went to the bank and I said I want $40,000, and I had well over 50,000. I was like, I want to withdraw $40,000. They're like, wait, well, you can't pull that much money out at one time. I was like, well, my
Do you
account
want to
says
know
this
why? Do you want to know why, Justin?
because they don't have
If
to
you
keep a
given
fraction of
it,
your money there.
no, listen, they keep a fraction of any money there. Okay, of any money. It's not like you can walk in the door of a vault of a bank and see stacks of cash. It's not like that. Okay, no matter what you might believe in the movies, it's not like that.
Well, I know it's
Okay,
not like that,
it
but
doesn't
you know
work
what it
like
also
that. So
happened?
listen,
If
if you want to get $40,000, you call the bank, tell them, hey, I want to withdraw this money. They'll say, hey, I can have it available to you on this day because they have to order it in. So that is how you work with that system. It's not that they don't want to give it to you. It's that they don't have it on hand to give it to you because that is what their policy is and that's what they're restricted to. So it's not a
and
matter
that's
of not wanting to give it to you. And honestly, they would rather if you withdraw that much money, they'd rather give you enough cash to get you by and then give you a cashier's check for the rest of it.
well, yeah, because then you got to go to some other bank and cash it,
No,
and that's
you
the
wouldn't have
thing.
to go to another. They just don't have enough cash on hand. They would hope that you would take the cash and use it responsibly, and then come back when you needed more and negotiate that check. That's
Well,
the whole
that's what just
purpose of
happened
it.
with silver. That's just what happened with silver, because if India
No,
had the
no,
ability,
Justin. What's happened with silver is they were trading more than they had. It's not that the bank doesn't
exactly.
have your money; they just don't have it at that location at the time that you go in and request it, especially for larger amounts. If you go in and request $2,000, they have that to give you.
Okay, if every single American right now, tomorrow morning, went to the bank and said, "Give me all my cash," the entire system would fold
Of
because
course
they
it
don't
would.
have.
And it doesn't and it's
Because
not a matter of going in and asking for your cash. The whole system's about to fold anyways. It's on a
but the,
global reset and monetization is what I'm talking about. Do you
yeah,
not
and
understand what
so
I'm
am I.
talking about? Do you know what
Yeah.
blockchain is?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's
Well,
you
so
disagree
then
with what they say, they can shut
so
down everything you have.
you already know what you're talking about doesn't matter and has no basis.
Oh, it does matter, and it does have a basis.
So,
And
Justin,
and go ahead.
it could have been 1972, and if everybody walked in and wanted all their money, there could still be an issue. It could have been 1945, and that would have happened. It could have been
Exactly.
1912 when that would have happened. Justin, it doesn't matter what era we're in. If everybody walked in the door and asked for all their money from a bank, out of everybody in the world going to the bank and asking for all their money, yes, it would be a global issue. It's not a secret, and it doesn't take a conspiracy theorist. Don't take this the wrong way because I go down a rabbit hole myself, and we've already talked about these things. It doesn't take a conspiracy theorist to do the math. Okay, it takes a second grade math student to do that math.
So here's my thing though, and the reason I say
And just to
we do
just hold
need.
on a second, just give me 1 second before I let you go. I gotta respond to some chat. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
just listen for a little bit.
All right. So yes, it depends on how much cash they have on time. You are 100% right. Stack that goal because I've worked at 3 banks, and I've been to the vault at 3 banks, so I know how the process works. Okay? So I understand, and sometimes people don't understand everything when it comes to some stuff, and can be misguided by looking at different things and convoluting all of it in the same puddle. Stacking Surfer, what's going on? Manderson, yes, when the Fed gets dropped, things are going to get really bad. Um, let's see here. Wait until they run on Silver EFT vaults. I know, Surfer, it's going to go insane. Silver's going to go nuts. And the reason the silver is in the situation it is isn't have anything to do with how much cash they hold in a bank or anything else like that. It has to do with the fact that they only had 1 ounce of silver and they were trading it like 300 times over as if there was 300 ounces of silver there, just for easy math. Okay? The problem with silver is if everybody demands all their silver, that's the situation you're talking about. The banking system itself would already collapse if everybody went in and asked for all their money. We're talking about the silver being suppressed, and now the fact that it's been recognized that it's been undervalued finally, and all this other global shit going on right now is the perfect storm for metals. And the fact that people are talking about shit hit the fan situations and what to do in those situations and what kind of silver to have and what to do and what to negotiate with is pretty fucking scary no matter who you are. I can still protect my own, but I don't want to have to go to those measures, and I don't think anybody does.
Nobody in this world does. I wasn't trying to create a shitstorm, but it was like the silver paper market. Like, you worked in a bank. Okay, I put $100 in the bank. Okay, well, I put it there, but the bank has the right to loan it out. But if the bank's
Yes,
going to loan my money out, if I were to put $100 in the bank and they're going to loan $90 because they only had to technically keep what, 10% roughly?
on
If they're
hand.
going to,
No, so
uh,
listen, they have the money to cover your hundred
I'm just
dollars.
doing a hypothetical, please. I'm just doing a hypothetical. If they're going to loan my money out and I'm only going to get a 0.5% and they're going to draw 9% of my money loaned out,
What
somewhere that needs
most
to meet in
loans,
the middle.
most loans, you got to think are going to be monies going out on like a home equity line of credit. That's where they would take the cash out. Most average home equity lines of credit, because it's a revolving line of credit, which means it goes up and down with interest, with the interest rate, the lending rate. So it goes up and down, right? So let's just say it's 5%. They pay 5% on your money. They'll loan out the whole 100%, knowing that they're going to get 5% back, pay you a 0.5%, and they're making 4.5%. That's their business model.
But why should they be able to get rich off of our dollars?
Justin, if you've got a problem with it, open a bank.
Well, I wouldn't be allowed to.
Why?
Uh, it's simple because I'm not part of their team.
No, Justin, it's not like that. You do have to necessarily go through all the qualifications, but seriously, if you want to change the banking system, open a fucking bank. But
Well,
I'll be honest with you, bitching about how a bank makes money isn't going to do anything. And it's
I'm
definitely
not
not going
bitching
to
about
change
it.
the way I look at things when it comes to that.
I'm
Or
not bitching
anybody in
about it.
chat, because half these people understand the process.
They do, and they
Yes.
probably all
So
hate
I
the
don't
process as
understand
much as
why.
I do.
I don't
I'm not
understand
bitching about
why.
it. So
I don't
let's
understand.
get.
So Justin, I don't understand where the disconnect is. I don't understand why you don't understand how a business model works when it comes to a bank making money. Okay.
I do understand that,
Okay.
but
Then why is it a
here,
problem for a bank to make money? Because
so
they're making
here,
money and you're not.
no, here's the problem with it. A bank will take my $100 and make paper contracts on my $100, or we'll say $100,000, or we'll say $1 million and make paper contracts, and then use my money to make paper contracts and charge decimal points on something and create shady loans to steal assets from people that probably shouldn't have got that loan in the first place, and then they lose everything because, oh, their job went away, or oh, they
Justin,
got hurt. But
Justin,
like that's a whole different conversation.
Justin, they're signing a contract, agreeing to the terms. Okay, it's not the bank's fault for saying, "Hey, this is what I'm willing to do for you," and somebody saying, "Hey, let's do it." It's not that. It's not the bank's fault. Okay,
No, it's the person's fault.
it's
I agree with you. It's the
no,
person's fault for not
it's
paying.
nobody's fault because it's a contract. Let's go
Ex-
back to what you said that we need to do when it comes to electrical. You said as long as somebody's willing to do the job for that amount, then that's what they should be paid for. Blah blah
Properly
blah.
done.
Right. So
Properly done.
that is the same thing as a bank, and that same exact situation you're talking about right now. The same thing. A job needs to be done. Both parties agree on it. Job's done. What's the problem?
I'm going back to the basics of it.
No,
I
you're
agree.
talking in
A bank.
circles.
No, I'm not talking in
You're
circles.
talking in circles. Yes, you are. And you're trying to throw up. You're trying to come up. Okay, well, we lost Justin. That's okay. Sometimes, sometimes people can't handle debating certain things, especially when they have no point. I'm not going to jump on board down that rabbit hole because a bank makes money and the bank is evil because they make money because somebody signed a contract agreeing to what their terms were. Hey, Lisa Anderson, how are you? That really wasn't much of a debate. That was more of a crush. Sorry, Justin. I like you, buddy, but you really did not know what you were talking about. Yeah, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth. No, those are all great channels to sub up, Block Blockos. Great channels to sub up. I'm sub to Stacking Surfer. I'm sub to everybody in here pretty much. Well, I'm going to put the link out there in chat if anybody wants to pop up. I know Surfer's here. If you want to pop up, Surfer, you can, and you can maybe help clarify. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to pop up, but I'm going to put it up there anyways. Yeah, I mean, listen, a bank is there. They they they, they wouldn't be in existence because it costs money to run a business. Okay, so they have to make money. All right, Surfer.
How goes it?
You know, I'm doing good, Surfer. How are you?
I'm worn out.
I bet you are. You're on live a lot, man. You've been talking a lot, and I've been trying to tune into all of your stuff. But man, I got to work a lot, and you're running a lot while I'm at work, and I can't really break away a whole lot. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to catch all of it, but it's hard to catch it all. So I'm trying to catch bits and pieces of it. Like yesterday, I caught that the ASCs are being shut down by the U.S. Mint's not selling ASCs right now. You know, and that's just crazy news in itself, right? And And I saw a little bit tonight, but I really didn't get a chance to do a whole lot because you were on when I popped on. So I really didn't watch a whole lot of what you got going on. But I will go back and watch the replay because I am sub to you, and a lot of what you say, because I've been in the industry. I don't talk about it, but I've been in the industry, so I kind of know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So, and I know a lot about what you're talking about. So I can speak the language that you're saying. So why don't you clarify some stuff for us? Can you do that for me?
Around banking.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So first clarification is my grandfather started a savings and loan. So I come from a banking family. It was a New York Stock Exchange company and worth $17 billion at the top. And it closed its doors in 2008 with all the other savings and loans when they did not bail any of them out. Um, and the problems come down to a couple things. One, there was a lot of initiatives to get everybody into a home back then, and the other issue was subprime lending, and then also things like negative amortization loans, and savings loans had to issue those in order to make money. All of the profitable things they used to be able to do, like lending to small business owners to open shopping centers and to own their own shopping centers and real estate, they really crushed them and didn't allow them to do that anymore. In my opinion, I think they drove all the savings loans out on purpose. They were just waiting for the reason for it to happen. And as a matter of fact, they had two members of the board for this particular savings loan that my grandfather started. They had two Federal Reserve members on the board for a long, long time. I was getting close to taking my dad's position over for it. I just graduated from Northwestern University with a master's and was going to bring a whole technology spin to it. So here's in savings loans, credit unions, banks, all the same thing with the way that they lend money out. They have the ability to do what's called fractional reserve lending. And that means that if I deposit a dollar, it becomes an IOU back to me. And there's a contract that's created. And when that happens, I have the right to go back and ask for them to issue that IOU back to me. But they have certain rules and regulations on how fast they have to do that and how much they can do at a time. I've personally drained many Wells Fargo branches in Southern California doing deals where I take the last bit of cash. I've returned cash after coin shows that we do, and it's the only cash the branch has. And when I've ordered things like $40,000, it takes a week, and they come wrapped in Federal Reserve note wrappings.
Yeah, they have to order it in because
They
I've
don't,
worked it.
yeah, exactly. Not even Wells Fargo
Yeah,
has
I've
it, right?
worked.
It's not coming from another branch. It's coming from the Fed.
Yeah, I've worked at U.S. Bank, I've worked at Chase, and I've worked at KeyBank here in the Seattle area. So I've worked at three big banking systems. So I understand how the whole process works when it comes in. And all of our foreign currency goes through Bank of America. A lot of people don't realize. And a lot of our, there's a lot of stuff that Bank of America itself is the key way to in and out. And Chase being another big player is the key way to in and out on a lot of stuff. And so a lot of people don't realize. And banks are loaning money back and forth, fractional amounts,
Yep.
all the time, all night long, you guys. It's
And
crazy.
then when they get close to not having enough money, they are able to go to the reverse repo window or the Fed funds window. I guess that's the reverse repo window. And that's where they can get funds to kind of hold them over for the night. And so for this institution that my grandfather started, we got to a point where on a Friday, my dad called me and said, if we don't get $5 million, they seize our company. So this company was basically taken from ownership of current stockholders overnight to ownership of a different bank overnight for not having the right reserves. But right now they do not have reserves required since COVID. So the Fed is playing a lot of games right now. And a lot of the banks took their free floating cash and bought bonds when it was at 1%, 1.5%. And as rates went up, those bond rates they basically lost, 4/5 of the money that they had in
Yeah.
those bonds. So the banks are really tight right now. I don't even think it would take much more than 1% of the branch holders at each branch could show up and ask for cash, and I think you would have a run on the banks. It doesn't
Oh, I'm
take
sure.
much.
Yeah,
They,
it wouldn't take much at all.
yep, and
You know?
they were required in the past to have 10% in reserves. They don't do that anymore. So there's a little bit of cash there, but there's not a lot. If you don't know your branch, the people at your branch very well, they're going to give you a hard time taking cash out. I've had them ask me, "Are you buying a car? What are you doing with the money?"
Oh, for sure.
What they're looking for is there's a lot of fraud going on too. So they're looking to see, is there someone outside that might be trying to take the money from you?
Yeah, if
Is there
somebody they
someone
don't
scamming
know
you?
walks in with you too, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah,
Because I was trained as a bank teller as well. There's all kinds of things we're looking for to make sure that you're secure. Even when you're opening up a simple checking account and depositing $5,000 with somebody I don't know, I still have a slew of questions I ask, especially if you're going to put them on the account with you. That's a red flag. I'm going to call a family member. There's just people get taken advantage of all the time. A slick talker sitting outside of a
totally.
Safeway could take advantage of somebody and talk them into opening an account or giving them money. It's nuts.
Yeah. So
So,
what I always tell people is there's a couple keys with banking. One is you need to make sure that you're within FDIC limits. Um, that's the first layer of protection. So you want to make sure you're not over 250,000. If you don't
yeah,
have that, if you're nowhere close to that amount of money, you don't need to worry about that. If you have a trust, you can go up to 250,000 per trustee. I think up to 5 people, but you would want to check with the bank on that and your attorney. Um, but you can go above that limit. The problem with FDIC insurance, though, is that there's only around $100 billion to insure $11 trillion.
yeah,
So if we end up with a silver short squeeze, and say a run on the bullion exchanges, right? So you're talking about the ETFs, LBMA, COMEX. You could have a situation where the bullion banks get hit really hard because of the shorts. You've got people demanding silver, and you've got people basically blowing up those vaults, financially to a point where we don't know what the price of silver is anymore. And if those banks get hit hard enough, it could severely affect them being able to operate. Things like that could easily drain the $100 billion instantly. They have bail-in laws now so that they can take your cash in the bank and use it to shore up the bank.
yep,
They may or may not choose to use that. SVB Bank that went down in San Francisco, they should have done a bail-in and they did a bail-out, which is what they did in 2008. And it's not legal anymore to do that, but they did it anyway. So, weird things can happen. The key is if you have a lot of cash in the bank, I recommend using multiple banks, spread it out. I always recommend having some at home. And then I think kind of the last thing I would say is right now is a great time to be owning precious metals and not having a ton of cash just sitting in the bank.
yeah,
Um, but you got to be careful. I mean, today, like last 2 days, we've seen silver go up 7% yesterday, approximately 7% today, and then it's pulled back a little bit. I don't know where it's sitting at right at the moment. But I just bought a bunch of Tim and Yankee rounds to do some giveaways on my channel, and after I bought them, the price went down like $4 or $5. um,
nice.
but it's just kind of crazy how things go. And we asked everybody in the store today. There were about 8 people in there. If it were to drop $15, what would you do? And every one of them said I'd buy more. But I can tell you that if it drops very quickly and you start seeing a lot of negative stuff in the news that it's crashing and it could go a lot lower, people start freaking out over things. The same thing can happen with banks. If people perceive that they can't get their money out of the bank or it's not showing up on their app or on their bank account statement, people go nuts and they freak out. And so, the safest thing you can do is have money in many different places so that you reduce your risk. Um, but just know that what you put in a safety deposit box is not guaranteed that
Oh,
it's going
it's
to make
not
it to you.
secure. Yeah, for
And
sure.
then And then the
You'll
other
have to
thing I
get
would
that
say
too.
is, just know whatever you don't hold in your hand has the potential of either slipping away, um, taking longer to access it, or potentially, disappearing on you.
Yeah,
So,
just being taken.
yep.
So silver's at 87.64 on Kitco right now,
Okay.
which is still pulled back quite a bit because I saw it at a high of 93 at one point today.
Oh, sorry, guys. My little makeshift stand here fell over. Yeah. So
Oh, you're good.
here's the deal. It's going higher. It's going a lot higher. Um, my guess is we'll probably see. I think we'll see it go over 100 before we have a significant pullback, which would be 20% correction. Um,
Well,
and
then silver at 80 would be on sale at that point.
exactly. So what if we see silver down at 75? So
Oh, I rush.
so I don't think it's going to be long lived. I think it'll be bought up pretty fast when that happens, or if that happens. But you're gonna see some little pullbacks here and there. We'll see what happens tomorrow and on Friday. And you can't have it parabolically just go up forever. There's going to be someone that starts taking profits, and then it starts to unwind.
Well, yeah, it's going to
Um,
have to dip back and hold and pull back a little bit to grow more. I mean, it's got to have a balance. I mean, it's not going to be on the
yeah,
straight arrow straight up. You're going to have the pullbacks for a reason. And listen, talk about pullbacks. We've been dealing with pullbacks on silver and the roller coaster for how many years now? I mean, this is just a pullback now. There should be no reason for people to freak out. We started silver at the beginning of 2025 at $30 an ounce. We ended it in the 80s, and here we are in the 80s again, or high 70s, I believe, right in
and
that
they can be
range.
quick. I mean, I remember silver just 4 years ago going down to like $16 or so. Very short lived. I think I was able to buy a couple ounces at $18, and then it was back up into the 20s. It was for a few days, and that's like private sales. You couldn't even the stores didn't even go that low. The coin shops. Um, so you're gonna see ups and downs all over the place. It's just gonna happen. But trend is up. If you're waiting for if you have to sell to liquidate stuff because you've bought too many metals, yeah, now is probably a good time to liquidate a little bit. But if you've got enough cash on the side to take care of emergencies, and some savings in case you need to want to buy the dip or anything like that, I think you'll be in good shape. But it's going up. I mean, this is the most expensive silver I've ever bought. I spent 95 bucks or so around
Wow.
today,
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
I
high.
bought a couple of them for the channel to give away. But I could go buy 4 rounds for 100 bucks just a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you. I was I looked at it. I went back and I went to Silver Gold Bull where I bought that 10-ounce bar that I got at Spot, and I went back and I looked. I paid $286 plus shipping, so it was $28.60 per ounce. And yeah, those were the glory days, right? You know,
No, they were, and that's where I bought a lot of stuff. But then um, I was watching a video, and it changed my opinion on things. It wasn't FOMO, but I came to a new understanding of the structural deficit of silver.
sure.
Um,
For
and
you're
that
breaking up. You're
there's
breaking
gonna
up pretty
there's
bad there,
gonna be a
buddy.
change on it. Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get on some Wi-Fi. I'm at some random hotel.
Oh,
So
you're good. Your
let me
camera's
see if
frozen,
this
but we can
works.
hear you pretty good. So we lost Surfer. He'll be back. I'm gonna put the link back out there. I'm pretty sure he has it though. So it looks like Justin took off. Um, sorry, Justin. Wasn't trying to be too brutal there, buddy. You have a question, Fuzzy Balls? I can probably answer it, but what's your question, bro? Unless it's something that wasn't like what we were talking about. There we go. We got Surfer back.
Okay, this should be better. I'm on Wi-Fi now.
Oh, you're good.
Anyway, so yeah, dude, life's crazy. I mean, trying to keep up with the gold and silver stuff is nuts. You know, I've got a full-time job. I've just been at a sales conference. My company's out of Boston, so when I make it up here for sales trips, I try to always rent a car, stay another day, go say hi to Tim and Yankee,
That's
and
cool.
it's fun. It's good. You know, this is all about community. You got to build a community with people. You got to get to know people. Um, you need people around you for when you have the big dips, so you don't lose your mind and freak out that you're losing all your money. You also need friends around that when prices are going sky high, you know, you can converse with someone and decide not to go and, you know, mortgage everything to go buy more silver. So
For sure. For
both
sure.
those things could happen.
Right on. I don't want to interrupt you. I want to respond to chat really quick. Fuzzy Balls has a question for you, but Cartier Silver, welcome in. Chat's been pretty active. What is your question, Fuzzy Balls? Go ahead and post it so we can get Surfer to answer it.
Oh, here we go. I found it on here. Are you scared of negative ramifications to the financial system if silver reaches 250? Don't exactly know what you mean by that. Maybe clarify that a little bit. But uh, I'll be honest with you guys. I think from all the charts I've looked at and the interviews I've been doing with people, if I look between now and 2030, I see us getting somewhere between $300 and $500 on silver. If things really break and the COMEX completely comes apart, we could see 1,000, 2,000, something even higher. If the COMEX breaks and the LBMA break, there's no way for us to price silver anymore. So, you know, the real question is, what would you, you know, sell your silver at right now? If you could sell your silver at, what's that price that you would do it at? Is it $100, $200, $300, $400, $500? You know, if there's an extreme fear in the marketplace because silver just keeps rising and you have to get it, you're going to see things like what we saw with Bitcoin. You know, once Bitcoin started getting up to 60,000 again, close to 70, last 2 years ago, people were starting to think, oh my gosh, okay, is it going to go a lot higher? And it started getting higher, and you started having a lot of FOMO and people jumping in around 80, 90,000, and it pushed it all the way up to 128,000, and then it fell down into the um, 60s briefly, and then kind of back up to the 80s. There's like a flash crash that the system just took out a lot of people. But you know, people get in these different, you know, sentiments and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the financial market and system goes, um, there really isn't a price that breaks it. Um, there's it just depends on how much the banks are shorting it, and it depends on how much they're buying the physical. Right now, the five big bullion banks in the United States are supposedly net long on physical silver. So what that basically means is they're buying physical silver. They have more physical silver than they do shorts, but they're still very highly shorted. Let me see if I don't know if Fuzzy updated his question a little bit. 250 swap for 50 gold buffaloes, if that makes sense. So you're basically saying 250 ounces of silver for one gold buffalo. I'm not sure what you mean by that, because if we got up to 250 ounces of silver for a gold buffalo, um, yeah, that'd be a pretty broken system. But that would mean that silver or 250 an ounce. Okay, yeah, if we get up to 250 bucks. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna have my prediction video coming out here. I just haven't had time to build it yet, but I won't give you my total number. I did tell it to Yankee today, so it should be coming out on a video next week. But um, I wouldn't be surprised to see $150 silver this year, $200 silver this year. It wouldn't surprise me. Um, it's not real sustainable if we hit those numbers. It's going high really fast. I talked to Eric Young from Hong Kong. He's looking at $200 silver. He said at $200 silver, it makes it so that it's high, but it's still viable to use for solar panels and other things like that. At least in his opinion, going over $200, he thinks it's pretty steep and it could cause issues. So if we do get to $250 an ounce and the banks are still shorting it, it's definitely going to cause major problems for the banks. They could have some bankruptcies going on. But you might start to see companies thinking about substituting silver for other materials if they can. Some things you just can't substitute silver with something else because it's not efficient. It's not going to work. But yeah, I mean, it's going to affect things the higher it goes. I expect gold to go quite a bit higher. I expect silver to go quite a bit higher. I think we're still in the first inning of the silver World Series, and I think we're in the second inning of the gold World Series. And so I do expect a time where we're going to see gold running faster than silver does again. And I think you'll see the GSR go up a bit. But I could be wrong. We're looking at times that are totally different than what we've ever had before.
Yeah, this is all
it's all
different.
new.
It's never been the same. You like Cartier just said, there's no Hunt Brothers pushing up the price of silver this time. This is all organic in the way it's come to, the way it's being built and the way it's growing right now. It's just catching up finally.
Well, like for example, the comment here from Stack That Gold, or wait, yeah, China's not exporting silver anymore. They produce somewhere between 20 and 25% of the silver coming out of the ground every year, and they refine about 75% of it. When they just closed off silver leaving the country, if I'm another country, I'm not going to send my silver to China. I'm afraid I'm not going to get it back.
No, because you can't get it back.
So that's going to change some things there. We went and took Venezuela that basically cut them off from their oil. It's like one of their big sources of oil. So, there's big games going on. And as far as I'm concerned, we're basically in a Cold War of resources.
Oh, yeah. It's a commodity war.
It's a commodities war, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I think it'll get a lot worse. And so, we're going to fight over countries like Peru and Mexico and Brazil and Greenland and maybe even Canada to a degree. And you've got Ukraine has a lot of resources that are being fought over right now. And then you also have, we're also in an AI war. And what I mean by that is there's a race to see who can create the dominant AI, China or the United States. And countries that are stuck in the middle of that are Brazil. I was just in Brazil a couple months ago watching my computer as it was translating the conversation. I put together I sell AI software. So I put together a symposium down there. We had about 15, 20, well, maybe about 30 people there. And we had a AI expert from Google and a couple clients that were there talking about it. And they started getting into it about how the United States and China are fighting over Brazil right now as far as technology goes and adoption. So there's a lot of that going. And there's a comment that comes up, AI is stupid in my opinion. There's all kinds of different kinds of AI. AI, my company has been around 42 years and it's been doing AI for about 42 years. It depends on how you define AI. AI is kind of like using the term software. So I agree that AI channels on YouTube and content that's completely cartoonized, that seems a little too perfect, that makes stuff up and hallucinates, a lot of that's dumb and you got to be careful with it. But as far as what is really AI, we're not super close to anything that's like Skynet or Terminator. That's still a few years out. But even when that comes out, you've also got to realize AI has been created to serve. It wants to answer questions. It wants to be useful to people. It's not created to go and kill people. But if we ever get to a point where we decide, hey, we want to turn it off, and it doesn't like that, that's where you could run into problems, because it could basically decide that it wants to survive, and it turns systems off. Or you might realize that AI is the only thing that's keeping our water system and our electricity grids going, or air traffic controller. So, the more we integrate it into society, we're going to have issues. But it's not the conversation about just AI stuff, guys. It's who's going to be the first, and who's going to have the AI everybody uses. It's kind of like trying to figure out, is everybody going to go on AC energy or DC energy, right? It's like, who's going to set the standard? So that's what we're dealing with. And if you start to understand that, then you understand this is nothing like 1980 and 2011. So I don't expect it to go all the way up and all the way back down, but I also don't expect it to um, to just go up and stay there either.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense. It's not
Well, I'd
going
love
to.
to keep I'd
Yeah.
love to keep going, but I gotta retire. I've got an early morning. We're gonna go stop in and meet Silver Dave for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Heading up there with Yankee, which will be fun. Um, but look for some fun videos coming out on Yankee's channel. Hopefully, I'll get one um, on my channel with Silver Dave. Maybe Yankee will say a few things in there. And you guys, my biggest thing to tell you is educate yourself, and figure out what your strategy is. Stick with it and keep going. We've got times ahead of us, but we can't predict everything. And some things we're not going to see until really close to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Surfer. I appreciate you coming
All
up.
right, see you guys.
Have a good night. Later.
You too.
Well, right on. Surfer came up, chatted for a while. That was nice. I hope he helped answer some questions, maybe clarify some things that might be going on. There's a lot going on right now, you guys. So yeah, stick to your metals. Everybody here's a stacker, so stick to your metals. Yeah, I upset Justin. I didn't mean to, but yeah, Surfer is awesome. I'm glad he came and he popped up for a little bit. That's always awesome. Yeah, no, always cool when he pops up on channel for sure. He's got a lot to say, and a lot of what he says is, because when he talks about the banking system, a lot of what he says is truth, because I've experienced a lot of what he talks about. So, and I know Stack That Gold, he said he worked at a bank, so he understands too. And yeah, Surfer does know what he's talking about. I'm just glad that he was able to pop up for a bit. That was cool. Always a pleasure when he's up here. But yeah, you guys, we're pushing like an hour and 15 minutes. We're not doing too bad. We got 20 people up in here. I appreciate all you guys for being here. That was super cool. Metal Mob rules while others drool. Yeah, man. Got my Metal Mob sticker on the board right there for sure. Finally got an LBS poker chip, so he's represented with me and Cartier up there. Got the team rocking and rolling. Next step, when I get a good chunk of change, I'm gonna buy some more poker chips. I'm gonna get some Metal Mob ones. Cartier, I think I'm gonna do the Metal Mob circle and have the rose on the back. Yeah, I think I'm gonna come up with the saying on the back, saying something along the lines of like, "Don't cross the family" or something like that. Nice, Avocado. You got your Metal Mob sticker. That's awesome. Yeah, there's gonna be Metal Mob stickers going out and all the stuff that I send out. Got to get the word out. Metal Mob's where it's at, guys. Oh, that was badass. So, has anybody added to the stack? Has anybody added anything recently? Cool, bro. Send one out. I'll make sure I get you a poker chip out. I don't have any stickers right now, but I'll get you a Metal Mob sticker and a poker chip. You did what you picked up, Fuzzy Balls. Yeah, Richard picked up some gold. Nice. Yeah, that's right. This weekend, Sunday at 9, we're doing the, well, not at 9, but the Metal Mob on, you picked up some Mexican silver. Nice. Or Mexican gold, sorry. Sunday at 9, the Metal Mob, we're giving away that 1 ounce Pac Man over on LBS's channel. Number 2 of 250, that's right. Mail inbound and heading to LCS again Saturday. Nice job. Nice. Stuart, that's awesome. Let's see here. When I got caught up sending out swag, sorry. Keep the rose on the front, put a big rose on the back. I don't know, so because the way the sticker is formed with the rose protruding past the circle, I don't know how well that'll work as an image on a poker chip without it being super small. I don't know. I'll check it out and see what I can come up with. Nice avocado. 2022 $2 2 ounce Australian killer whale for 158 total price. That's a good deal. Took 2 weeks to get it and went up $20 in the, yeah, in value. Nice. Good score, bro. Stack that gold, getting a Grail coin tomorrow. Hopefully. Damn. I hope I get that horseshoe that day. All right, I'm missing something, Donna. I know you have a horseshoe, a lucky horseshoe. Hope you get that horseshoe Sunday. Oh, I got you. Australian and Canadian mint stuff can be found cheaper than ASE's. For sure. For sure. Richard, what'd you pick up? A 20 peso? Some 2.5s? What'd you pick up? I'm not going to be able to pick up anything anytime soon. I've got obligations, but picked up a 1922 peace dollar, Manderson, and won some sort of gold on whatnot. I'll find out what it is when it comes. Nice. Blocka's most recent purchases were Friday. RCM 1 ounce colorized coin from the post office. Mint set come in the mail yesterday. Coin showed January 2025. We'll see what's there. Nice. Vienna peso, 1918 and 1921. Vienna pesos. Sorry. Yeah, that's a 20 peso. I had a 1959 20 pesos. Those things are nice. Okay. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm sorry. My Spanish must be off. Sorry, bro. $21's the one you're missing. Stack that gold. So I am ordering food, and when it shows up, I'm popping off, you guys. So just to let you know, I am hungry. Humble is hungry. I'm ordering something I can eat. It is a hard decision to make. A lot of people are struggling with that actual decision right now. That's what I'm talking about. Lots of people. Even Silver and Gold Stack Attack was struggling with that. He said when he got to 50, he was trading it in. Or he was seriously thinking about it. Now it's there. What's going on, Bart? Now it's there. So it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold? Are you going to trade it in? What, like, should I get off the pot? What's going on? A lot of people are holding, hoping that it gets better. Mine did too. And it's a circle, but the image looks oblong a little bit, right? And it's got side lettering. That is my favorite foreign gold coin as well. Crawfish and mussels. I am having a KFC famous bowl because I can eat that because I have no teeth. Well, that's a decision to make. I would, yeah, some people have a plan. They'll trade some in at 50, they'll trade some in at 40. It's all a matter of your goals. But, Manderson, that's a good idea. I would probably trade my 40%ers for gold. Oh, blockers. I'm gonna turn all those cards in on Friday if the card shop's open, and I'm gonna turn that money into silver. I'm gonna turn paper into silver like an alchemist. Yeah, get rid of those Kennedys and get some gold. Of course, you're gonna say that. Stack that gold. No, I don't know how much money I'll be able to make off of those cards, but I got some stuff I gotta square away. So those cards are definitely going. The funds on those cards are definitely going somewhere, but they're not going to silver, unfortunately. But I want to max out what I can do. I got to catch up on my stacking, but like I said, I got obligations I got to take care of. But I got a card in that it's worth at least $380 just for the card, so I'm hoping that I can get some money. Get some money, money. I got a lot of cards in there, a lot of cards. Not trading any metals, but I'll be definitely selling some cards. You picked out a crawfish with nice big claws that you're gonna pour it. That would be funny if that actually happened. I don't think you could, because you'd kill it with the impression, wouldn't you? Never know, though. It's nice going into a coin shop and getting a fair price for silver. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's what we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Good fair price on silver. Now it's here. So, are you going to pull the trigger? Silver. If I lay it out right, freeze it, then cast it, I think it will work. Not all the little legs, just the body and claws. Nice. It'd be a sand press, I'm sure, on a frozen clawed creature. Crawfish is just a crawdaddy, is what we called them when I was growing up. Used to catch them in the local creek. I would bring a pot with me down to the banks. We'd catch them, boil them in water, and eat them right on the spot. Yard bugs, what you guys call them? Yeah, we call them crawdads. Find them under a big rock. They swim backwards. Small ones were always harder to catch than the big ones. And just like a fucking lobster, just a smaller body of water that's not salt. Oh. Alright, boys and girls. Food is on its way. Guy's gonna be hitting my door here in a minute. I will see you guys later. I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate all you guys for being here. Thank you for coming. One big claw, one small one means it lost one. Good night, everybody. I appreciate all you guys for being here. I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. You know the game. Hopefully Silver will launch up again tomorrow. We're going to have something more to talk about. Alright, you guys. We will talk to you later. Have a good night. Of course, Humble Tony to stack what you can, where you can. Don't forget Metal Mob at 9 on Sundays, 9 p.m. my time. That's 11 o'clock Nick's time. That's 12 o'clock Cartier's time. So you guys just make sure you come by. We're giving away an ounce of silver on Liberty Bleeds channel on Sunday. It is a number 2 of 250 1 ounce Pac-Man bar. So make sure you guys stop by. We will see you all later. You guys all, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later. Night.